We're at West Wyalong in the central west of New South Wales. It's festival time. Hearts of Gold. They're going to have a gold panning championship, a world record they're looking to stage, judged by the Guinness World Book of Records. Classic cars, drone shows, street festivals, all happening. Also in this episode, Cowra, memories of the world's biggest wartime jailbreak. Forbes, classic cars, amazing statues. And meet a man of action from hot air ballooning around the world to kayaking the Murray River. But first, West Wyalong, gearing up for that world record gold pan. And here they are, 270 contenders for the Guinness World Record Gold Panning Championships here in West Wyalong. In this episode of Travelodge, g'day, welcome. I'm Greg Granger. We're enjoying the peace and serenity of rural Australia. The land out here seems timeless as I head west across fields of wheat that stretch to the horizon and beyond. You can almost hear the wind rustling through those wheat heads. Tranquility. Beautiful, beautiful experience. This part of Australia is the largest cereal growing centre in the state, centred around a town whose welcoming icon is a vintage plane. Well, this classic Douglas DC-3 from 1943 marks the fact that we've arrived in the delightful town of West Wyalong. So much happening here. Let's check it out. West Wyalong, a town famous for its crooked main street. Crooked because it was originally built around the gold diggings and tree stumps. Legendary artist Sir Russell Drysdale immortalised that street with this painting, judged to be one of Australia's 10 greatest works of art. Today, that famous street has been closed for a festival, devised and supported by Blantyre Council and organised by council staff and the Hearts of Gold Committee.
It is my vision, yes. It's very, very exciting. It's been a long time in the making. Hearts of Gold Festival. It wasn't always going to be called Hearts of Gold Festival. I wasn't sure what the name was going to be, but I'm pretty passionate that West Wyalong deserves something pretty special to look forward to every year.
Among the activities is a cycling marathon to raise funds for Can Assist, a charity that supports cancer sufferers in rural areas.
Each year we run a challenge, a spin challenge for 24 hours, so every hour the teams change over.
Seems like the whole of West Wyalong has turned out this morning for a rich assortment of activities. Council CEO Grant Baker puts it all down to the warm enthusiasm of the locals. Grant, all happening in West Wyalong.
How good is this, Greg? Yeah, huge weekend for the Hearts of Gold Festival here in West Wyalong. People are so friendly. You walk down the street, people smile at you, they say good morning or afternoon, whatever it is. Yeah, they do truly have hearts of gold.
Gold is the focus of our next activity, a world record attempt for the most gold panners. 270 people have registered for this attempt, and there they are, willing locals ready to join forces with their gold pans, with the Guinness Book of Records represented by Peter Fairbairn.
Look, I'm here as an officially authorised representative of Guinness World Records, as a fully trained and authorised adjudicator, trained at head office in London, one of 59 adjudicators in the world. And I'm authorised to make a ruling today on whether the attempt for the most people gold panning is a successful attempt and a brand new Guinness World Records title.
So is there a skill to panning for gold? Rod Smith has flown in from Perth to instruct the participants.
My job today is to technically be the expert witness, but in reality I'm demonstrating how you pan for gold so that people can do the correct action over the half an hour and set the record ideally.
This is an official Guinness World Records title attempt for the most people panning gold. You will start on my command. 3, 2, 1, go.
So, people are panning. You're 270 contestants here today. What are you looking for in that 30 minutes of panning?
Every single participant needs to be fulfilling what they've been shown for the full 30 minutes of the attempt. Otherwise, individuals will be disqualified, and we've got a certain number that we need to reach today to break the record. And
so that's how the next long 30 minutes pans out. What they have to beat is the previous record set in 2015 in San Jacinto, California, where 235 people took part. There may be 270 starters today, but some may be disqualified. And then, at last, the 30 minutes is up.
I can confirm that the time of 30 minutes was met and that the total number of people gold panning simultaneously in West Wyalong today was 268 people. Congratulations, that's a brand new Guinness World Record title.
So, 2 disqualifications. 268 people have set the new world record. And there are other winners like Kelly Pigeon who found some gold. So you won the championship and the bonus is you've won this gold.
And I won the gold.
$40 worth.
Yep, not the 5,000.
Good on you. Gold, gold, gold. Sponsored by the big local gold mine, Evolution Mining. Evenings see the local footy park taken over by bands. And rides. Tell me, what are you doing here?
Oh, just having some fun on the trampolines.
You're doing a few loop-the-loops.
Oh, yeah, a few backflips here and there.
How are you enjoying this festival?
Oh, it's great. I love it. The community all together. It's just a great experience, really.
And everywhere, big hearts, the festival symbol. The big highlight this evening is a drone show. So Rob, what are you doing here tonight?
It's going to be 68 drones and we're telling the story of West Wyalong as told by local poet Bernie.
It's about unity, getting together, caring, and what this is about. The big heart you've got over there, the heart, the last thing they had in the sky with the drones. Heart, you know, the golden heart of the West, and caring community, yeah.
We've driven an hour south of West Wyalong to a lovely little settlement called Marul. Here are some giant grain silos, and once a year the local fellas get together to kick a football, or try to at least get a football right over those silos. If they succeed, big prize money. Folks from all over Blantyre have gathered at the 110-year-old Marul pub for a day of quirky contest. First, the tug of war. Big Henry Botha and his mates look like winning this one.
Henry, big win. Absolute big win, mate.
And you're winning $1,000.
$1,000, which will put over the bar, support the local community. Absolutely, it's been a hard pull today. We had a great win.
Then the first of the silo kicks. Kids put the boots in at this mini silo. Organiser is Jason Bryce. So Jason, what's happened?
Oh, well, this is the annual Marul Silo Kick. It's been going for 31 years and it started with Billy Brownless, an AFL fella come through here years ago, going to a wedding at West Wyalong. And he come over Maguire's Hill and seen the pub and thought, oh, we'll drop in there with his couple of mates.
Yeah.
He seen there was a kicked footy over the silos for $50, so he got a footy and he kicked it over.
And finally, the big boy. Got to get that footy right over those silos.
So it's 34 metres high and 12 metres across.
Yeah, and all they've got to do is get it over.
They've got to get it over. What they're going to do is get on the roof the first round. Yeah. The second round they must go over. Yeah. And the third round they must clear the whole lot without touching.
Lots of young blokes give it a go. Some of them even barefoot. But they're all up against local farmer Jack Harper. And he's won this 3 times before. Go for it, Jack. Up, up and over. Jack, you've done it yet again. So that's an awesome big silo to get over.
Yeah, no, it was unreal. Wind played a bit of havoc today, but yeah, a few of us got it over and just got lucky in the end.
So wind's against you, the silo almost won.
Yeah, no, like I said, I just got really lucky towards the end and the wind died down a little bit and yeah, hit it in the sweet spot. So the $3,000 prize money's not bad to take home, but we'll try and spend a bit of that here today and go from there.
I was going to say, right now, how are you going to celebrate?
Yeah, just get all the boys together and we'll have a few beers and have a few laughs and go from there.
The Marul Silo Kick, raising $30,000 for the Can Assist charity. 3 more events for the Hearts of Gold Festival. Best Flower Gardens. Gail Platt showed off her garden. Gail, you're running a very successful motel business here in West Wyalong and you've planted some beautiful flowers to decorate it.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's an enjoyable thing because for me, I just love doing it. I've been here now for nearly 40 years and it's a great place to be in. And as I sort of said, my work's my life, my life's my work.
Then there's a fashion show, local lasses parading before an enthusiastic home crowd. And finally, a colour run.
We're here today for the Colour Run as part of the Hearts of Gold Festival.
Yeah.
This is the last event for the weekend and we've had a really good turnout. We've set up a bit of an obstacle course for the kids to run around. We've got lots of volunteers here that will squirt a bit of colour at them as they go around and it should be a lot of fun.
Participants have to run through a series of obstacles, all the time being squirted with coloured powder. Climax is the foam gun. Soapy suds squirted on willing entrants. Mayor Brian Monaghan reckons it was all very worthwhile.
Hearts of Gold was to generate a good feeling within our community.
Yeah.
It was also to generate a bit of tourism. It was also to generate a bit of business for our businesses. And I think we've achieved all those things.
While we're in West Wyalong, I check out a few other experiences. The Memorial Walk, starting at the new cenotaph, and ending up at an illuminated poppet head. Bordered by illuminated images of the men who discovered gold and started the gold rush here, the Need family. Then there's the newly formed Yacht Club, on a waterway that runs close to town. No yachts here, but lots of kayaks, with Amanda Stitt, the founding member. Amanda, lovely time of the day, sun's rising, reflections on the water. How are you feeling?
Beautiful, just really relaxed. I just find this so relaxing. It's really good for the mind, body and soul out here.
So you don't associate kayaking and water with West Wyalong?
No, this is actually originally a stormwater drain.
Yeah.
And it was full of kumbungi weed and I had a vision that we could kayak on this and I took it to the council and they got a grant and it's just fabulous.
And so how many members? I'm seeing lots of kayaks.
We've got 42 members of the yacht club and we've got 32 kayaks in the shed. And we have 2 pedal boats and 1 paddle board.
And finally, Lake Cowra, where I catch up with resident photographer Mal Carnegie. So Lake Cowra, your home for the last 58 years since birth?
Yeah, it's constantly changing like all the inland ephemeral systems. They're very dynamic. There's always something going on. You never know what to expect each day when you come down here.
So beautiful still photographs you've been taking, all these bird shots, just loving all these shots. And this bittern, for instance, is a reasonably rare bird?
Yeah, so the Australasian bittern, we're seeing that here.
Now a big new lease of life, glamping tents.
Yeah, that's right, Greg. Yeah, we've got 7 of the deluxe glamping tents here, so have air conditioning, en suites.
Exciting new development right on the edge of Lake Cowra. Beautiful water views, bird life, just the place to be.
Exactly.
Oh, it's amazing. Just how amazing? Let's find out. For starters, the waterways are amazing. Take the gum swamp. We're greeted by a forest of dead gum trees with magnificent bird life, all viewable from the new bird hides. There's an amazing sculpture trail along the Lachlan River. And then there's the amazing new visitor centre in the newly renovated historic Lachlan Village Welcome Building. This is historian Rob Willis. So Rob, we're looking at parts of an old wool shed that now make up a new information centre.
It came from Trigolana Woolshed, which was a property about 20 miles from here, and it started out as a wool shed, a 17-stand wool shed, which means that there were 17 shearers that were able to shear there. And these are all the old piles and posts from that wool shed.
So we've got the drone up over this old pioneer village, and what a sight, so many historic buildings there.
There was, and it was a whole work of art of getting people to come here and rebuild these buildings, which were a recreation of an 1860s goldfield town of Forbes.
So Rob, I'm seeing you're wearing a beard here. There's a lovely story of a gentleman that got sacked with a big beard. He went out and shaved the beard off.
There were so many workers on Big Burrawong station and so many of the other stations too that they didn't know who was working there. So one particular shearer with a big beard got the sack. He was as rough as guts, as they say. So he hopped on his bike, went down to the creek, shaved his beard off, came back, went up to the boss and said, "Oh, I hear you're looking for shearers, Mr. McPhillamy." And said, "Oh yes, we just sacked a bloke." So he's sure there for the whole season.
Mayor Phyllis Miller is equally as enthusiastic. So Mayor Phyllis, you've been there 12 years.
Yes.
There must be something about Forbes you like.
I love it, and I'm a ring-in. I moved here in 1974, and I've had 5 children. I've brought them up here in Forbes, and the fabric of life in Forbes is amazing. It's a town of opportunity, and it's got a great lifestyle. It's got all the cultural things that you would love, as well as education, and really, you can buy beaut clothes.
like this fantastic top you've got.
It's a fantastic town to live in.
Yes, it is. Forbes is a beautiful historic town full of grand heritage buildings where the site of a vintage A model Ford from 1934 is not out of place. Vintage cars at their best here in Forbes. We're at the McPheeters Motor Museum. I'm sitting in a 1910 brush from America. It's driven across the Nullarbor 3 times in its life, 1912 through to 2012. Bill McPheeters' passion for vintage cars led him to build a big collection and show it to the public. He shares this passion with his wife, Jan. Very big personal collection of motor vehicles here.
It certainly is. It's been over 60 years of collection.
How many vehicles?
There's actually 60 in the museum. We own 40 of them.
And you've collected these from all over Australia?
No, mostly local. There's a few that have been from out of town, but they're mostly cars we've collected up and around the area.
So you've got some superb models that we're looking at here today and some superb vintages.
Yes. My personal favourite's a 1923 Rolls-Royce. The lovely car downstairs.
God, you'd love to be driving that today.
Yes, it'd be a nice day for it. The only thing is it's only got a fold-up roof.
I've always wanted a horn like that. Jan, what have we got? A 1902 English mechanic.
1902. This is a replica car. This is a replica of a car that the English Mechanic magazine in England wanted someone to design, a car the man of modest means could afford. And when the engine starts up, it goes pop, 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 pop. It's a very, very old car sound, but it doesn't take you very far.
Jan, the Japanese funeral car was so elaborate.
It was very elaborate. It was built for the VIPs and the Japanese politicians.
So it's an early 1960s Lincoln.
Lincoln Continental.
And look at
American
the craftsmanship, the way this has been decorated.
It's very elaborate. If we'd like it to look inside.
Sure. And of course the coffin would slide in there, music would play.
Music would play there. It's also lights inside, did you notice that? And they were taken to their funeral, but you must have the funeral before midday. It's very bad luck for the shadow of the hearse to fall on the bystanders.
We have come to the delightful central western New South Wales town of Cowra, scene of blooming canola crops, a Japanese garden, a railway heritage centre, and its biggest claim to fame, the world's largest military prisoner of war escape. Come springtime and the fields around Cowra are alive with vivid yellow pastures of canola, Australia's major oilseed crop. This is where you'll find the Lachlan Valley Railway headquarters, its roundhouse containing a rich collection of vintage engines and a superbly outfitted lounge car. This vintage carriage from 1925 was built with 2 six-wheeler bogies and took local train lover Tom Sullivan 25 years to restore to its current glory. Cowra also boasts the beautiful Japanese gardens spread over 5 hectares to celebrate the historic and ongoing relationship between the Japanese and Australian people. This was born out of the famous breakout of Japanese prisoners of war during the Second World War. The Cowra Prisoners of War breakout took place from the POW camp that was built on these fields. Historian Lawrence Ryan has been heavily involved in keeping alive memories of that breakout some 80 years ago. So a map of the compound as it would have been, Italian prisoners kept here and here, others over here, including Japanese officers, but most of the Japanese prisoners kept in here, and they would have escaped through here at 2 o'clock on that morning, the 5th of August 1944.
They sure did. 1,200 Japanese prisoners of war in there, and 1,104 of them tried to get out.
And of course, what was left behind, this cap one of them would have been wearing, you can see where he snagged it on the barbed wire as he tried to get out, and some of the uniforms they would have been wearing.
The typical uniform that the Japanese wore, or the Italians, an old Australian surplus uniform dyed maroon. These are items that you would have seen at the Cowra Prisoner of War camp, and that piece of uniform there, that cap, is the only piece of authentic Japanese uniform still in existence that was worn during the breakout.
So all that remains of all the huts, cement, foundations, a lot of brickwork. There would have been huts all over here, right?
Yeah, hundreds and hundreds of huts all around this whole area. And what's left are the remains of what we call the wet areas, the toilets, the showers, the kitchens.
And so when the Japanese escaped, they burnt down almost all of their own huts.
They burnt down 18 of the 21 sleeping huts.
Prominent amongst the remains of this POW camp are these 5 memorial panels, representing the range of people who were kept here, as well as those who guarded them. And so who have we got?
Japanese prisoner of war playing baseball.
With his baseball?
With his baseball.
Indonesian
mother and child, political detainees.
Look at this guy with the piano accordion.
Yeah, an Italian prisoner of war. What wouldn't you expect? Somebody playing the piano accordion having a good time in Australia.
And the Aussie digger guarding them all.
Absolutely, yep. Aussie digger, 1,200 of them here at Cowra.
And the Cowra Japanese War Cemetery honours those Japanese who were killed here and the Aussies that were killed here.
It does. We have 2 cemeteries, a Japanese and an Australian cemetery side by side. The Japanese cemetery contains the 234 graves of the Japanese who died during the breakout, but also the graves of every other Japanese citizen who died in Australia during the Second World War, all in the one location.
And the Aussies certainly served well those that they...
The story goes like this. The Australians came back from fighting against the Japanese, they found the graves here, and they began the job of looking after them because they said it was the right thing to do. You take that story away, you've got no Cowra-Japan relationship.
Well, it's a very special feeling to go flying in a hot air balloon. Totally exhilarating. Silent, apart from the occasional roar of the burner. So we're about to follow an all-round Aussie adventurer, Andrew Robertson. Up and away, high into the sky. We're following Aussie adventurer Andrew Robertson as he fires up his own hot air balloon. So Andrew, hot air ballooning, that's been your thing since the age of 4?
Yeah, absolutely. So my parents started when I was 4 years old in Adelaide. I think at the time there was only probably about 20 balloons in the country. And yeah, been just ever, my earliest memories of being dragged off into the countryside at 4 o'clock in the morning to go watch Dad fly off in balloons.
So a life of balloons all over, not only Australia but
Correct.
the world. Look at this footage we're looking at now from Burketown.
Yeah.
And you're flying across not only the river but the salt plain.
Yeah, absolutely. So we headed up there and just to try and do some adventure flights around the area and try and get a good view of that amazing countryside. We even managed to dip the basket into the croc-infested river.
Anything snappy?
No, we saw some on the banks, but definitely it was a great thrill. Often up there you get very high winds, so you can't actually do those sorts of precise moves. You just kind of go fast across the salt plains, but we had the perfect afternoon that we could just drift in and really check out the landscape.
So you're going into not only Australian Championships, but World Championships. Here you are in Austria.
Yeah, that's right. So Austria was a couple of years ago, and there's some, we had a really good event over there. Australia had 4 pilots, and we did very well.
Yes.
But it's all about, competing against all those other countries and getting up there and flying with the best pilots in the world and trying to beat them, basically. For in Australia, we tend to get a lot more faster winds. So as we fly in the mornings, first thing when it's still, but as the morning progresses, it gets a lot windier. In Austria, it stays, in those sort of hilly areas, it stays a lot more gentle. So when we're landing, it's, you can land on the side of a road. You're not trying to find a huge paddock to put the balloon down. So slightly different from that. But every area has its own quirky microclimates that you've got to learn when you get there. So you get a few practice flights to sort it out.
Not only is he a hot air balloonist, but also a long-distance kayaker. We're following Andrew as he paddles the length of the Murray River. So adventure. It's not just hot air ballooning.
No.
From the age of 4, you're into kayaking.
Kayaking as well. So yeah, I guess ballooning was always my dad's thing. And like every teenager kid, I kind of went through a phase where I didn't want to do dad's thing, and I took up kayaking. At the time I was in Melbourne, I was doing sort of more whitewater stuff, but now it's much more the long distance adventure stuff that I like doing.
And so here you are, we're watching you paddle from the summit of Australia, Mount Kosciuszko, all the way back down the Murray River, right down to the sea.
That's right. So it was a 3-month adventure that I actually, had to paddle all the way. And yeah, that was an incredible journey, living out of my kayak, camping on the side of the river, all sorts of conditions. So we had the rain, the wind, the cold, we had the beautiful reflective days, crossing some of the lakes along the way, which some of them were more exciting than I'd planned, but definitely a lot of fun. So, waves crashing over the boat in the middle of Yarrawonga, which I wasn't expecting. But then, yeah, the whole journey was spectacular. 76 days of paddling in total. We had a few COVID lockdowns because it was during the whole period where borders kept opening and closing, and because the river is the border between New South Wales and Victoria, I had a few little periods where I had to sit and wait for a couple of days while Victoria opened their border for me. But yeah, it was overall, it was about 76 days of actual kayaking, spanned over a couple of months.
So 76 days, you must have felt pretty damn good when you reached the end.
Oh, I was speechless. It took me probably a few months to really digest it, just paddling out through the Murray mouth into the actual waves of the ocean. had seals jumping around me, like it was like almost the perfect day.
So hot air ballooning, kayaking,
Yep.
What's next?
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm going to, with the ballooning, I think it's almost time to hand over the reins to my son. He's 20 years old. He's the first third generation pilot on the eastern seaboard. So he's just got his license and I think he's ready to take over the reins of that. And I might continue just doing some of my paddling, and I'd love to do the Murray again, and there's plenty of other rivers and things that I can explore.
Exhilarating adventure in the heart of Australia, making the most of the great outdoors.